Why is the Syria conflict considered a regional conflict? Imagine a small spark igniting a huge fire that spreads far beyond its starting point. That's what happened with the conflict in Syria. It started as protests against the government but quickly grew into a much larger issue involving many neighboring countries. This is why it's called a regional conflict. Countries like Iran, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Israel have all taken sides or acted in ways that influence what happens inside Syria. Iran supports the Syrian government with military help, aiming to keep its influence and create a land route to Lebanon. Turkey supports opposition groups and wants to keep Kurdish forces away from its border. Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states back rebel groups fighting against President Bashar al-Assad. Israel has carried out airstrikes targeting Iranian and allied forces in Syria to stop Tehran's expansion. This conflict isn't just about Syria anymore. It has become a proxy war, where regional powers fight through local militias and alliances. Iran and Saudi Arabia are the main rivals, representing Shia and Sunni Muslim groups. Their fight for influence turns Syria into a battleground for their broader rivalry. The war has also caused millions of Syrians to flee to neighboring countries like Lebanon, Jordan, Turkey, and Iraq. This mass movement puts pressure on these nations' resources and fuels sectarian tensions. The influx of refugees affects their economies and political stability, making the conflict even more complex. Foreign military involvement adds to the regional nature. Russia has stepped in to support President Bashar al-Assad, while the United States mainly targets extremist groups like the Islamic State. Many foreign militias aligned with regional powers are active in Syria, making the situation more complicated and difficult to resolve. Syria's diverse population includes Sunni Arabs, Alawites, Kurds, and Christians. The fighting has deepened sectarian divides, which influence neighboring countries' policies and alliances. The ongoing chaos in Syria also shifts the balance of power in the Middle East. If the Assad government falls or survives, it changes how countries in the region see their security and alliances. Countries are constantly adjusting their strategies based on what happens in Syria. All these factors show that the conflict is not limited to Syria's borders. It involves regional rivalries, sectarian issues, refugee crises, and foreign military actions. That's why the Syria conflict is considered a regional conflict, with effects that reach across the Middle East and beyond.